and welcome to another edition of Thoughts of the Round Table with me, Matt Rebar.
And me, Paul Laux.
And Paulie, how are ya?
Good, how are you? How are you?
Not too bad. We're recording on a Sunday, and so you know how it always is with, like, Mondays. You're like, ooh, Mondays.
Don't we normally record on Sundays? I don't know.
We do. I think we've been on Sundays lately, because it works out for both of us. But
how's life been treating you?
pretty good. I just read The Handmaid's Tale, finally, by Margaret
I've never
Atwood.
read that.
It is so good, Paul. I don't know where exactly, but I think it's definitely in the top 100 books of all time for me.
You
It
should
is
do
so good.
You should do drunk book reviews.
Shut up! That would be amazing. Oh my
But
god!
it would have to be like of historical literature. Like you would have to go to drink and then read some Shakespeare or something.
Can you imagine? I think that'd be really... Let's talk more about that, because
You know
that
what
might
the
be
best
something
one
fun
would
to do.
Seriously though, you or even both of us drunk reviewing Romeo and Juliet. I feel like that would be the best.
Oh, that would be so fun. We'll talk more about that. I like where you're
not
going.
A bad idea.
I like where you're going. Absolutely. Well, I think what made The Handmaid's Tale interesting. So everyone's been like, watch the show, and it's been one of those things where I'm like, I want to read the book first. I get weird about that. Sometimes I really need to read the book first. So I did read the book finally, and just the concept I think is so interesting.
You're gonna have to catch me up on the concept a little bit.
So basically, it takes place in the book's written in the 80s. So in basically the end of the 80s, the president and the Senate are assassinated, and this militant right-wing group takes over, and they basically kind of bring everyone back to the Stone Ages a little bit. So women have no rights. Women are kind of designated by what they can do for the society. It's just so... I mean, it's so haunting. And I think what makes it scary for me... I mean, obviously, the human rights element to me is scary, like the lack thereof. But, like, the possibility... the possibility that we could be at any time, like, overthrown. Because, like, I mean, look at the Capitol attack that we just had. Like, it just... To me, it rings so relevant. You know, even when she wrote it in the 80s, it felt very similar to when I read 1984, and I always felt like, oh my god, this is not, like, impossible, you know? So, it was really good. I'm glad I read it. And I will be watching the show next, so I'm excited.
I'll never forget watching that attack on the 6th.
Oh
that was crazy. But, it is funny how things written even, 30... Isn't it crazy, by the way, that the 80s were 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the most messed up thing you can think of?
It's so weird the way that time works. Because, my God, I feel like I'm over the hill a little bit. Like, I'm 26
I'm not gonna
and
lie.
I feel...
I turned 30 this year.
Yeah.
And, like, a couple weeks after I turned 30, like, I made a will. And it was, like... a very interesting time in my life, because it's all of a sudden it's like it does hit you eventually. It's like you're not in your 20s anymore, and then I'm making wills and crap. Like It's just weird. It's I don't know. It makes you really start to our buddy Ken had I was talking to him once, and he goes, when you have kids, you suddenly have like this like switch flips in your head, and you start thinking about it's like, man, I'm getting old. Like, eventually it's going to all be over. But when you're in the 20s, you don't think about any of that.
Yeah.
And so that switch is maybe kind of flipping in my head a little bit. But you'll get there, kid. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think the responsibility kicks in. But then again, not everyone's born to be a parent. So for some people, they don't get that switch, I guess.
Can I ask a really deep question? Should we do this?
Go for it. Oh, my God, of course.
Are you afraid to die?
No, actually. To me, I believe that there is something waiting. I live my life in a way that I think I'm happy with everything that I've done and that I do, and I live no regrets. I mean, sure, if I die young, there'll be things that I haven't been able to do, but not, I haven't been sitting on my butt for 26 years. Like, I've been doing things artistically and creatively, and no, I'm not scared. I think I would be scared if, I knew it was coming. If that makes sense. I wouldn't be scared if it was like I just happened to accidentally walk in front of a subway train, but
you get a heart
here
attack
in the street. Yeah, like I think if it was like, hey, you're
Like,
gonna
wait,
die
hold
in
on.
like 3
Accidentally
years.
walk in front of a subway train? Did you just say
I don't know. That was the first thing that came to mind. That's, but like I don't know. Like if a doctor was like, you have 3 years to live, that would be I think
that
a
would
little
be the
scary.
worst. That
Yeah,
would be the worst.
because you're like, oh my god, 3 years. Like this is I have to really figure out like what do I want to do before I die. Like this is, you know what I mean? Like pressure's on. So
Right. I am in your camp in the fact that I believe something, comes after this. I've been a Christian
mhm,
my whole life and everything.
mhm.
But I'm afraid because of the fact that I obviously enjoy being here, and you just kind of don't want it to end, really.
You should check out. It's on Netflix. It's called Surviving Death, and it's a 6-part documentary series, and it covers like the afterlife and mediums and signs
Do you
from
believe in
the.
mediums?
I do believe in some. I don't think all mediums are like telling the truth, but I
There's
do
definitely
believe like,
shams.
oh yeah, there's totally shams, but I think you're gonna find that with anything.
Yeah, I don't mess with that stuff though. I did a Ouija board once in college, and I will never do it again.
Really?
It freaked the hell out of me so much. No, I will never do it again.
I've never done a Ouija board.
Dude, it's uncomfortable.
I
Is
did.
uncomfortable.
My friend Joanna and I went to a psychic fair a couple weeks ago, and so it takes place at this apothecary. And for $10, you can have 10-minute sessions with anybody. So they had like multiple people there. So I did one session with a psychic, and it didn't go that great. Like she didn't really tell me anything. It was very vague. I didn't love it.
See, can I interject real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Psychics, I think, are a 100% sham. I don't think anybody can predict anything. What I do believe in a little bit is mediums, people who kind of interpret things that are going on currently, if that makes sense.
Well, so my friend Joanna saw someone, and basically the lady, she was able to peg details that were weird, like she shouldn't have been able to peg. And
Yeah, but
whether that was
tricks
medium
around
or
it.
psychic, well, no, I mean, like, I don't want to reveal my friend's personal business on a podcast, but like, when
Why
you
not?
go, yeah, like for the two people who are like avidly listening, but like, like,
Which is us.
so yeah. So like it's different when it's like, okay, psychic, will I fall in love? And they're like, yes, you will fall in love. But like when the psychic is like, you're like, my question has to do with my love life. And the psychic goes, you're not sure if this guy is the forever guy. And my friend's like, oh yeah, shit, like that is exactly what I'm there
That's
for.
such a shot. That's such an easy shot.
I mean, here's the thing. It sounds easy, but like that's a really predictable one. She could have, or not a really predictable one. What I mean is like it's a hard to predict one because like she could have been like, oh, are you single? Are you dating? You're married? Are you engaged? I mean, you're not seeing someone. You are seeing someone. You are seeing someone, and you think it's going great. You are seeing someone, and you think it's totally not going great. Like there really are a lot of boundaries. I think if she had been more specific and been like, are you seeing someone? Yes, but like to be like, are you seeing someone that you feel like you don't know if it's going to work out? It's a little specific.
Mediums, I understand. Psychics, though, I just don't. I don't believe it. But let me tell you, never do Ouija boards. I will never do it again. Oh my god.
Yeah. What? So exactly what happened?
Nothing like crazy. Pictures flying off the wall. People
Yeah.
getting bit. Nothing like that happened. But it was enough to where it just really was a jarring experience. Because I was like, oh, there's no way this is... Because I did it once in high school, and like nothing happened. It was like the biggest waste of time ever. And so when I did it in college again, one of my friends brought it. I was like, oh, it's going to be the same kind of, experience and issue. And it wasn't. And it was just like... It did exactly like what you see like in the movies and stuff. And I just didn't... It was real weird. And I don't know. It was just uncomfortable. And it never talked to anybody I knew. But like it talked to somebody that one of my friends knew who was doing it.
Ooh.
Like someone who they went to high school with who had died.
Oh wow,
And
that's
it
very
was pretty weird. And because none of us like she was the one because obviously you do it with a bunch of friends or whatever.
yeah.
Like,
You do it with a group.
and she was the ones asking questions or whatever. And I mean, I didn't go to high school with this girl. I had no idea what the answers were. But it would move and it got things right. So according to her, so
Hey, I'm telling you. I mean, there I think are levels of mediums and psychics and those connections, but I do believe in it personally. So.
One of my friends claims he um, accidentally got a demon in his house with a Ouija board.
Really?
Like he claims his house is now haunted by a demon. Because
What's the evidence?
He sees like shadow people and stuff in his house.
Oh God! Well, that's frightening.
And he said it started. He said it happened after he did a Ouija board, and he thinks he messed it up and did something like.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm not gonna mess with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
like
think I'm interested in.
Weird.
What is?
This whole thing it makes me feel weird to even talk about it.
Really?
It gives me the
creeps.
I
don't know. It doesn't give me the creeps. I think I'm pretty open to the spiritual world. So.
Yeah, it just scares me, man. It scares me to death. I don't like ghosts.
Yeah, I've never seen a ghost. I've actually never had any sort of interaction with a ghost or spirit, and I kind of wish I did. People always tell me that they're like, you don't really wish you do, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I believe in it. I don't know. So,
would you ever do a Ouija board?
I would be open to it, but it would have to be under certain conditions, I think.
Yeah.
So
it was a time, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No, it sounds like a time, that's for sure. So, well, anyway, do you have some not the news for us?
I do, and you've probably seen
yummy.
this. Have you seen this new? Well, I don't even call it a trend. I hate when people call it trends because it was like 3 people who did this, but it kind of got everywhere with the Gorilla Glue. Have you seen that?
Yes. So for those who don't know, this girl was using Gorilla Glue for her hair, and people were like, "Girl, what are you doing, honey? Like, you can't do that."
Did she think it would like just hold like hair gel?
I think she just thought it was like, I think she there had to be a level of like her knowing what she was doing was like not like it was weird that it would go viral. Like, you don't just do something like that, I think, without
I don't
knowing
know,
that.
man. I think she seemed pretty upset. I don't think she realized how permanent that kind of stuff is. Gorilla Glue is no joke. Like, if you were using Elmer's, let's be honest, you could probably wash that out of your hair. Gorilla Glue, though, man, that is like for like woodworking projects and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you don't mess with that.
Yeah, no, anyway, what's the update with Gorilla Glue, girl?
Well, she got free surgery to get it out of her hair. And people are really up in arms because she did this stupid thing and then she got like a pro bono surgery to get like they're removed from her hair.
Well, that's probably, she got the free surgery probably because of the publicity that it brought, right?
Well,
I imagine.
the thing, but people are kind of like upset about that fact. Do you understand?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you want to be famous, is that what you want to do to get famous? You want to use Gorilla Glue in your hair? Like, go ahead, try and ruin that. Like I don't know. Like, I don't really care. Like, in a either bad or a good way. Like, if that's what she does and she gets her 15 minutes of fame from it, good for her. But like, I don't know.
I think people are just upset because there's other people who were more deserving of a free surgery than someone who put Gorilla Glue in their hair.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I mean, shoot. But
I think the Tide Pod thing.
Oh, the Tide Pod challenge. Oh my god, ridiculous. But I did see didn't she indicate she's going to sue Gorilla Glue?
I don't know if that was that real, because I saw something rumors of it, but I didn't know if that was actually
my biggest thing about that is like, but girl, how? Like, you knew, like you knew what you were signing. Like, you knew that it's not supposed to be in your hair. Like, I don't know. That's
I can guarantee you it says on the bottle somewhere too. Do not put this on your.
Oh, 100% that bottle has like 400 like notes of don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So.
Oh, and the other big thing in the news, which I want to know what you think about, I really do, about these 2 kids, maybe 3 kids, who they got kicked out of a private school because it was found out that their mother was on OnlyFans.
Interesting. So,
which, mind you, it was a very like a prestigious like a private school, and she got kicked out. But someone had to find it, is what I'm, is what I'm thinking.
Do we know the grade? Is it like high school? Is it middle school?
High school.
High school. Interesting. I think that's wrong. I don't think that the kids should be punished for what they deem as unacceptable for what their mother is doing. I do think that's tough, though, to be in high school and your mom is on OnlyFans and people know about that. That sounds like really tough for the kids.
The kids are probably ready to go at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. But and my reaction to this is, I feel like at some point there has to be like an OnlyFans bubble. Like, when will like there's so many people who are on OnlyFans. Like, at what point will there just be too many people who are on
people on it?
It just feels like there's a lot. Everywhere I look, I see people who are like, I have my OnlyFans, I have an OnlyFans, I have an OnlyFans. And it's just like, dude, like, when's it gonna, like...
Yeah, but that
like,
stuff sells. If someone's there willing to buy it, it's always going to be around.
but, like, I'm just saying, like, at some point, when will there be too many people on OnlyFans?
I don't
Like,
know if they will ever hit that point.
You think? Okay.
I don't know. Not in that industry. I don't think so. I really don't.
I just feel like you have a platform that's based on, you buy individual people's, quote, media or material, right? So, like, you can't, like, especially the way that people charge, like, it's probably, like, what, 10, 15 a month. So, you have a limited audience who, A, is going to do it, but B, like, they're only going to be able to buy a few people's OnlyFans, right? Like, I don't think people are going to be out there trying to buy, like, 40 people's accounts, right?
I don't know how it works. I mean, I don't have
Mhm.
one, nor do I've ever been to it.
Mhm.
So I have no idea how it works.
Mhm.
But I mean, like I said, if there's someone always willing to buy it, then it's always going to be there.
So you think, I don't know, as a creator, let's say I have my OnlyFans. If I have 3 people, is there a point of having my OnlyFans account for that? I don't know, I guess for some people, they'd say yes. But for me, it's like...
I think
I
you're
don't
thinking
know.
you're from 2 different creative areas.
I'm thinking of
let's
it
be
like
honest,
a
you're
whole
not writing
thing.
books here.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, like, at some point there's going to be too many creators for the supply, like, think of supply and market, like, the supply versus the demand. Like, there's going to be too much supply to the
Do
demand.
we have enough YouTubers? There's YouTubers all the time. They keep joining.
But YouTube's different. You don't have to pay for YouTube content.
You can.
Yeah, but you could pay for YouTube Red, which is a monthly subscription that's like $30-$40. You get your live TV and your sports and all that, but, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, I wonder if there's going to be a day where there's, like, too many creators and not enough people buying content.
I doubt it. I honestly doubt it.
I don't know. We'll have to bring in. We need to bring on, like, an economist on this show and talk about this.
Economist. Can you imagine we hire some, like, really well-known economist to come on the show, and then we ask him about OnlyFans?
We're like,
Oh my
sir, we know
God.
you have a doctorate in economy and shit, but can you talk to us about OnlyFans and the economical bubble that it might bring and have?
The OnlyFans recession.
Anyway, what do you think about the mom whose kids were kicked out of school because of her OnlyFans account? What do you think of that?
I think I'm with you on it. Like, the kids didn't do anything, but
I
here's the
agree.
thing: is the kids didn't do anything, so they shouldn't get kicked out for that. But now I doubt the kids want to be there.
I mean, I just wonder who reported it. Clearly, it has to be someone who...
And some father did apparently.
Which
means
is so
no one's looking
hypocritical. Like, so we're not allowed to have people who do OnlyFans, but people who watch OnlyFans material. Like, to me, it's like they're one and the same. Because the reason that this mother's doing it is because she needs an income that people like the dad who reported her for, provide, and then they complained about. Like, I don't know. That whole thing makes me upset.
She claimed she was making $150,000 a month.
Wow. I mean, if I was making $150,000 a month like that, shoot, I would do OnlyFans for a couple years. You could make a couple million real quick and then, like, retire. Oh, my God. Wow. Well, you know what? If she really made that money, her kids will be fine and they'll recover. But, yeah, that is upsetting that, like... It reminds me, too, of the New York City first responder who was come under fire because she had an OnlyFans. And, like, she was exposed. And
did she lose her job?
I don't think she lost her job, but people were making the point, like, dude, like, hello, like, this is sad that, like, a full-time paramedic in the city has to have a second job just to make it a livable income, you know?
Right.
So.
All right, you got any advice for us?
Yeah, real quick, I want to talk about this. So, this girl, she says, I work for a medical facility. I share a desk with Jim and Dwight. I'm an administrator, and the desk and the surrounding area need to be neat and tidy because of the work I do, so yada yada. So, everyone constantly say how the area is messy and it's embarrassing, but they never talk to Jim and Dwight. They always talk to her. Like, for example, Jim left a drink on the desk behind the computer that I didn't find, and it went rancid and stunk up the office waiting area, and I got blamed for it. I'm usually wiping boogers and small hairs off my desk. The shared keyboard is almost always covered in some kind of food residue. Oof. The area under the desk is disgusting with food pieces, dirt, and tracked in snow. I've talked to my boss about the night and weekend staff leaving the desk a mess before the pandemic, and during it, he blew off and said I was being dramatic and being inconsiderate. to others, to Jim and Dwight, and I didn't dictate their workflow. So, long story now, they're still sharing the desk during the pandemic. She's bringing in her own cleaning wipes. It's gross, blah, blah, blah. My boss pulled me in for a meeting regarding how messy the area is and said, I can't believe how someone would create a mess like that. It's disgusting. Your house must be filthy. It's disgusting. I explained that the mess was left by Dwight and Jim. It got very awkward, bordering on red flags, because every time I tried to point it out, it was the evening weekend shift, which is Dwight and Jim. My boss kept putting his hand up and saying, let me stop you. It's your area. You're responsible for it. Stop deflecting and blaming others. I have half a mind to go to HR. I know the pandemic has us on edge, but this feels sexist. It feels toxic and dangerous. And who says this stuff to a staff member? There's been rumors about layoffs coming, and I don't want to be a target, but I feel like I might be with this mess fiasco.
Oh, you're already a target. That ship has sailed. Yeah,
so let me tell you, there's a lot of what... This is from AskAManager.org. A lot said here. It does sound sexist to AskAManager.org. People think that you're being dramatic by saying it's the other coworkers. No, that's who's responsible for it. I think people are blaming you because you're the one during the day who's there, so it's more your desk than people. But if you're all sharing the desk, then it's a shared space. It's not just your desk. She says in theory, you should take this to HR. On the other hand, if your company has good legal counsel, they'd be very cautious about laying someone off after she made a report of sexism, which looks like retaliation, which is illegal. All of which is say this is a risk. So it depends on how, if you think that your boss is vindictive, how does he handle being challenged? What do you know about your HR company? And she's like, I'm sorry that this doesn't seem helpful, but if nothing else, your instincts don't sound off. This is just, there's just so much wrong with this whole thing. First of all,
clearly those are favorites for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, those two coworkers, they're the ones with the problems. They should be addressed. I don't get why she's being addressed. I understand that if she's the day employee, people see her at the desk. They think it's her desk, right? But it's a shared space. And for her to approach her boss and say, this is a shared space, that's the truth of the situation. Right. It's not her being dramatic, and it's not her throwing people under the bus. I don't know. I agree. I think this sounds sexist as hell. She's the chick. She should clean. She's not responsible for coming in on the day shift and the evening shift being the ones who are, dirty, etc. So, I don't know, man. If you were in the situation, though, what would you do?
Well, see, that's what I'm about to say is I feel like this is a situation where there is no good exit. I don't feel like anything, unfortunately, will change. For some reason, these two people are, in the graces of the management for some reason, and that doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon. So I don't know if there is a way out of it, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I hope that she can go to HR. Some people don't feel comfortable going to HR because their HR is ineffective and really bad, but gosh, something has to be done, I feel bad for that girl. But just know, if you're at work, do not, if you are in a situation where someone does something and it looks like it's your fault, do not take the fall. Do not accept, you're being dramatic or it's your fault. No, that's a shared space. So
I've taken the fall for things way too many times.
Oh my gosh, me too. Twinsies. Alrighty. Well, I think that's wrapped up. Anything else we want to add, or?
Not for me.
All right. Well, Paul, it's been another great Thoughts the Roundtable. We'll see you next time. Peace out.